One. All right. What's up, guys? We're back. Crypto Kings and AJ from EMP, the dream duo. Here we are. And we've got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. I'm sure, AJ, you've been busy as always, working behind the scenes. I know it's been, an up and down couple of, or a good few months now, but it seems as though things are on the mend. And we're going to talk about it all today. So, AJ, let us know what's happening. Let us know what you've been working on. What's happening at EMP. Floor is yours.
All right, brother. Good to be back and good to see you, man. I know the bros are back together. Although you've been putting in some serious hours, bro. I know you had to get back in the workforce.
I know.
I know,
I
yeah.
know.
It's been a little shit. Yeah, I thought maybe I had to go back to McDonald's too, but yeah, that's crypto for you, man. But no, all joking aside, I mean, we definitely had a little road bump. For those that don't know, again, we had a bit of an exploit on the vaults, but we are back. I mean, we have recovered pretty much better than ever from that, and we're rolling out a brand new program, which we'll talk about today, that is helping not only in recovery efforts, but also an amazing opportunity to earn in the short term while we get the flywheel going again. So Fusion is still here. Nothing has changed. Again, unfortunately, we had a lot of our treasury in the vaults, but we've already started making major headway all over again, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, and on top of a bull run. I mean, we have seen that the market is really starting to show that we could hopefully have that alt season finally, and ETH usually leads the charge with that. So Bitcoin being a new all-time highs, all of this is playing out exactly, how we hoped it would. And yeah, man, we're excited. So lots of updates today for sure.
Beautiful, bro. And I'm sure you probably got a lot of stuff you want to share on the screen. So
Yeah.
if you want to do that, I'll get that up. And
All
I
right.
imagine the first thing we're going to look at will it be the bonds because I checked that out just before, and there was a lot of money in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, brother, totally.
Yeah.
So are you able to share, or you want me to do it? I can talk over it, or
Yeah,
I
I can
can.
do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Just go to Dexify, shall I?
Yep, that's right. And then at the top,
Sweet.
there's a link that says bonds.
Yep.
And
Easy.
then yeah, and then we'll get right into it. So yeah, so again, just while Kings is doing that, to give everybody background. So we have had this amazing product that nobody really knows about, and that is the Dex5 Vault. So this is how we were earning for our protocol EMP Dex5 everything that we built over the last 3 years. We've been utilizing this on our own to generate real yield for literally almost 4 years. And what it is basically an automated liquidity management system that allows you to farm different concentrated liquidity positions. So I know that's a mouthful, and people get really overwhelmed, and that's a whole nother language to them of what I just said. But this is essentially a tool that allows you to earn fees from the dexes that trade crypto. So, whether it's Airdrome, Uniswap, SwapX, Shadow, any of the dexes on Base or Sonic, those are the two chains that we're on right now. We were on up to 8 chains previously, but the two chains, Sonic and Base, are really the highest volume at the moment anyway. And volume, the higher the volume, the more fees that we're able to earn. So this is the OG, real yield, no Potsonomics, no made up token, bread and butter that we have been earning from again for 4 years. So the issue is, even though we've made it as simple as possible, people are still extremely overwhelmed and don't really know where to go, don't know what vaults are paying the best, don't know, how to get involved. And even if they do get involved, and even though our system's easy, you still have to babysit it a little bit. I mean, it's not something you just want to, deposit and then come back in a month. You definitely want to check it every few days, make sure, Things are looking good. So we have now rolled out our treasury bonds, and this is essentially the easy button for our system. So yeah, if you click on that, brother. So this is actually owning part of our treasury where we are taking the ETH that is deposited and and going into 40 different curated vaults to generate the yield. And why this is cool is many things. Number one, you get our expertise. All this is done through a smart contract, but we still, are able to guide, what vaults are paying the best, what assets have the most liquidity. So we have our expertise of doing this, professionally for 10 plus years. Um, and so that's a big advantage. And then the second advantage is the diversification. So we're in about probably, like I said, 40 different pools, which we'll show in a second. But that's cool because it allows for a very steady APR, and we're hoping to keep the APR between 100 and 200 percent. Which people say, how is that sustainable? Well, it's been sustainable, and it is sustainable over the last, again, 3 years, and that is just because the volume and the fees that we're generating are fairly consistent. So, and then the other really cool thing, third but not the last, is that you get exposure to the price appreciation of the assets as well. So when you're providing LP, you're still in an ETH or fart coin or whatever the other coin is. You're still in that position. So if ETH doubles, you still get exposure to that. So as you can see right now, every bond is about zero point 0.1 ETH, or roughly $250. Um, if ETH doubles, now you're able to withdraw your bonds for $500. So the underlying asset goes up in dollar value. Now, again, that's assuming the market goes up. Obviously, the market can go down as well, and then you would lose some dollar value. But with an APR of 109%, you're earning a lot more through the yield to protect the downside, and you get paid the yield in stables, so you're not reliant on you the price fluctuating that much. So that's a really high level overview. And then one more thing before we dive into this a little bit more. But if you click on that total TVL number, it'll take you to, yep, click on that. It will take you to a DBank page. So we are the only concentrated liquidity providing protocol that literally shows you the wallet and DBank address. So you can see here, those are all the LP positions that we are in right now. And because
Nice.
because these are private vaults, you still don't know the secret sauce. So you can't really, copy what we're doing or front run it or whatever because you can't see the ranges that we have set. So we're fully transparent, but we still maintain, the edge, so to speak, that makes the bonds really, really profitable. So again, man, nobody is doing this and we're super excited to be able to show that in full transparency.
That is beautiful, bro. I do have another question to ask you about this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, if anybody's in the
Obviously,
audience too, feel
yeah,
free
if
to
anyone
ask.
in the audience has a question, I see Stinky Beans is in the house.
But he is Stinky, one of our OGs, essentially part of the team. We love you, Stinky. Yeah,
So I wanted to ask you, AJ. Obviously, you guys created these bonds because obviously there was the hack. So you wanted to raise money, I guess, to help pay back the people that were affected by the hack and also rebuild the treasury.
totally.
You're obviously making a lot of money to help repay the people, build the treasury, and for the people in it right now. When a time comes when you've paid everything back, will the bonds continue, and will all the money at that point just go straight to the holders of the
Yeah, that's a
bonds?
great question, King. So, if you open up, there's a little link right there under Treasury bonds that says documentation. Up there on the left, it's kind of hard to see.
Oh yeah.
Yep, down right there. Perfect. So we can go through this while I'm talking about it. But to answer your question, yes, because this is also part of the recovery effort, um, it is a 50-50 split right now. So that 109% APR, that is including the 50-50 split. So in
Right.
reality, we're really doing about 200 and 400
Beautiful.
when we really start cranking percent APR, which again I know that's a it sounds too good to be true and unrealistic, but that's the power of concentrated liquidity farming because the smaller your range is, again, not to get too technical, but you know, if you're able to maintain a tighter range on your assets of what you're willing to trade at, then you get even more of the fees. So, I mean, some of our vaults are literally paying 1% a day in real yield, not again Ponzi or inflation or anything like that. So, again, some vaults are more stable and blue chip, and they're paying 0.2% a day. So it's an average of all the positions. Um, but to answer your question, yeah, it's on a sliding scale. So once we get over this 500,000 mark, which we're almost there, bro, we had a lot more interest in these than we thought we would. So um, that 50-50 split may start coming down over time.
Mm,
And
okay.
then, yeah, we would end at like a 85, 15 split where the treasury, still takes a little bit, that way we're feeding revenue to Fusion and GDEX from all of this. But in reality, the APR could almost double even from here when that split goes away. So it's a really great way to help the community. And if you were affected in the original issue, and you're essentially helping pay yourself back even quicker by getting in. And then again, I mean, even for outside users that don't care about what happened before, you can't find 100% APR hardly anywhere that has the track record that we do. So it's very, very competitive, no matter how you look at it. But yeah, and again, I mean, we absolutely can leave these going. So we did a similar rollout about 2 years ago. We called them EMP bonds, and that was a 60% APR, and that was guaranteed by our treasury. And we, again, that's why it was a little bit lower APR, just so that we could guarantee it. All those were paid out, but we were utilizing um, some more trading, some more high risk plays. So this has been the culmination of everything, and that's why those bonds were only for a year. These bonds are open ended. So again, the APR is not guaranteed. It could go up, it could go down, but the beauty is that there's no lockups. So whenever you want to exit, you just unstake your NFT and you go to that button at the bottom there that says redeem. Um, and so yep, perfect. Rather than having a marketplace, we are allowing you to redeem the bonds directly. There is a 10% fee, but that fee doesn't go to us as a team. It goes into the wallet that all of you own. So it really is a way to really reward those that are in for a lot longer, because the fund itself, the backing or collateral will automatically grow because of that 10% difference. So that's another really thing that makes us different. And, with a marketplace, it can be good peer to peer, but if nobody wants to buy your bonds, then you can wait for, a month or a week or whatever. So we just did a straight redemption, and those get paid out within 48 hours. So it's super flexible, no lockups whatsoever. And then, if we get into a bear market a year from now or 2 years from now, whatever it might be, APR would probably go down, but then we would start farming stable tokens and things that are a lot less risky. And even some of those, you're still looking at, 30% APR, even in a bear market. So it's very fluid, very flexible, and if it's not enough of a yield for you, a year from now, then you can just exit and wait for the next bull run.
Beautiful. So just to confirm that, let's say someone put in $1,000 or roughly $1,000. They brought, let's say, 4 bonds.
Yep.
And then they decide they want to get out of it right away. Pretty much, they'll get $900 or that thousand back, and then $100 would go to the bond. I guess the value of the bonds, or was how's that work
Yeah,
again?
exactly, brother. So think of it as you know, one single wallet like you would have in MetaMask or Ravi or whatever. You are owning a part or a share of that wallet. So
Mm,
when that 100% gets left in the wallet, then it actually is providing value to every single bondholder. So,
right.
again, depending on how much you own, you know, everybody gets, a dollar or $10 more from that 10%. So
Oh,
yeah, and over time it can really add up. I mean, if you're one of the only people in a year from now, then everybody that exited before you is really helping your downside risk for sure.
beautiful. And just to confirm as well, when you're making money in these bonds, is it like you can claim the money, or does your bond value just continue to go up?
Yeah, awesome, brother. Again, King, you're the man, bro. I love doing interviews with you. You ask all the right questions. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, the answer is both. So, um, um, 90% of all the yield, well, again, I don't want to say exact numbers, but the vast majority of the yield goes directly into payouts. So, every Friday, we work on what's called an epoch. That means every Friday we collect all the yield that we've made over the week, and then we deposit it into the distribution contract. And then that is where you see right there, it says claim USDC right above the little bond icon. Right now it says switch, but if you're on base, it would
Oh
say,
yeah,
yeah, it would say
got it.
claim.
Okay,
And that you get I mean, if you have more than probably 10 bonds or so, you get USDC like every hour. So it drips into your claimable amount, and you can claim, as often as you want, and it gets replenished every Friday. So it won't be one big lump sum, but you may see the APR fluctuate a little bit until Fridays, but it's an average over that week. So and then your NFT value is also going up or down, but some of those vaults that we're in have a small percentage that go right back in and compound. And we also keep, and you can see right there on DBank if you go back, we usually keep at least some of the deposits in stables. So as you can see right now, we just
mm,
deployed a lot because we had a dip last night. But we keep some stables so that we can always DCA on the dips as well. So, you know, we're not actively trading this account, but we definitely look for optimal positions, when there is a dip. So that is bullish because, in theory, even if the market is volatile, we're still able to outperform that. And I did a video. We did our own AMA last night and showed this, but ETH was down about 7% yesterday, and our fund, this wallet, was only down about 3%. So we were able to mitigate that dip just because we're in so many different assets.
that is beautiful. AJ, this is a beautiful invention that you guys
Yes,
have come up
brother.
with here. This is
Yeah, that
incredible. This is my because I've been, out of the scene for a bit. I was aware that you were doing some good stuff here, but until this AMA right now, I wasn't aware how bullish this was. So
I love it,
uh,
bro. Yeah,
this is getting
well,
me
yeah.
excited, bro.
Yeah, King, and this is the culmination, of everything that we built. I mean, people have been asking for this for a long time, and we were just trying to figure out a way to do it in the simplest form because it is so complicated. And what I love is that finally, by presenting this opportunity the way that we have, people understand what we have built here, bro. Like, this
Mm,
is a platform that is just something really special, and now we can show it off, in a really easy way to understand.
beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
On
and
that
we're
note,
yeah, yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah.
shall we? I was actually going to transition to Fusion, but if you got one final thing to say about this, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
do for sure. So, and obviously, this plays into Fusion really well. So, the only last point I was going to make is we've also been able to utilize the system for other tokens. So, and again, this plays right into Fusion. So, like for instance, different meme tokens or even utility projects are able to now easily put their treasuries to work through these bonds or through DexFi to earn real yield to then buy and burn their own tokens or support their dev costs without having to sell tokens. So we utilize this as well for GG, Fusion, GDEX, and Broke No Mo as well on Pulse. So we're really building, an infrastructure that allows not only our tokens but even other projects to get involved. And when people really figure that out, I mean, we could have like millions of TVL in this for sure.
Definitely, bro. I just put a little comment in the chat. EMP is back.
Let's go, baby. Yeah, hell yeah. So, yeah, and that's a perfect segue. I mean, obviously we can't argue with the fact that the bonds are paying more than Fusion right now, and we're not trying to sugarcoat that or hide it. But all of this is extremely bullish for EMP and Fusion because not only as we are able to rebuild the treasury, our treasury was one of the larger wallets that was affected in the original issue. And so we're rebuilding that treasury. We're starting. Um, again, I call it the flywheel, but that just essentially means cash flow, where money is actually starting to come in because of the yield, and then we're able to use that money to buy back EMP, buy back eShare, and then ultimately create more yield in Fusion itself. So, with an average of say 100% APR, this means that Fusion will, as a baseline, will eventually be able to pay, whatever the bonds are paying. And then what you have to realize with Fusion is we have about 7 different revenue streams on top of the treasury. So, when we start making money through GG, Grim Gold or Unexpand this game, that is only going to Fusion. So the 10% cut. So we're able to really multiply the yield when we start getting to that point. And even though bonds right now are more attractive, we could see 500% APR or more in Fusion because of all the additional revenue that goes to Fusion itself. So again, we've said all along that Fusion is the long game. And another really cool strategy would be to utilize your bonds to build positions in Fusion as well. So it's not going anywhere. The whole mechanism of burning EMP, that is absolutely still a thing, and we use the yield from bonds or our own treasury to continue to do that. And we definitely had some people get scared and exit, but we're already starting to recover again with EMP as well. So this has been a major step in that recovery process for sure.
I love this. And I can see a vision of as well of people who have bonds right now, that their fusion position. And then when fusion starts really paying out, you can just take that money, go over, put it in a bond, earn, 1 to 200% APR on that money. And
Totally.
then that's gonna even grow the bond value even more. More money for fusion.
Yeah,
Onwards
absolutely.
and
I mean,
upwards.
totally. It is very, and we'll do some. We love doing our different flow charts. So the infamous infinite money loop. But yeah, we'll definitely show some different ideas and again, it's cool because like you said, whether you're using fusion to feed bonds or bonds to feed fusion, the end is that it's all staying in our ecosystem,
Mm,
and that money is only helping the entire mothership grow, rather than being ported out of our ecosystem. So yeah, I mean, yeah, man, I'm really excited for this. It was you know obviously anytime you know there's a road bump or sentiment is down, it weighs heavily on us, man. Like Jake and I, Dex CEO, the founder of DexFi, we again for the full history, we merged about 2 years ago now. But we were up to figure out, hey, how do we put something together that will help us recover, make everybody whole? No other protocols do that. They just go away,
mm,
but we built too much amazing tech to just abandon it. And, you know, uh, even though we definitely have some haters, like, I've been at this now full time every day, fully transparent, fully doxed, and I'm not going anywhere. And this is again the next step in that process to really make everybody whole and start it all over again.
yeah, that's great stuff, bro. And speak on behalf of everyone. We really appreciate the consistent and persistent work you guys continue to put in on a daily basis. And obviously, you don't have to do this. You could be doing anything with your time, AJ, but you decided to come and do this day after day. So we really, really appreciate it. And I speak on behalf of everyone. We can't wait to see what is happening with Fusion. And speaking of Fusion, shall we talk a little bit about what we can expect and what's coming in the near future?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. And again, I appreciate you saying that. It's the real community that has been so supportive. And again, I mean, they understand that we're not going anywhere, and it may not be an overnight success, but we are really positioning ourselves to do everything that we were hoping to do over that next, horizon. So yeah, all right. So here we are with Fusion. Again, even though the chart, is a bit volatile and things are looking, I don't know. I mean, I'm an eternal optimist, so I think things are looking good all the time. But uh, uh, the sentiment is down. Put it that way. We are still in an amazing position. I mean, if you scroll back up just a little bit, you can see like there is not a lot of EMP left on the market, and so just about 40 grand worth of new buying of EMP would put us at peg. So again, like that in crypto, that's really not a lot of capital. And um, the issue is I think people just don't have that confidence yet. And so we're here to make that happen. And whether we get zero new income um, through the bonds and through the treasury, all, and that's why yield is down. People like to joke that fusion yield is low, and it is, but that's because we are putting all the economic energy into peg recovery first. Then, once we get to peg, that's when yield will really start to ramp up. So, even with ETH going up, over the last few weeks, we're still pretty about where we were, a few months ago, in terms of peg. So, again, I don't. If you scroll down, it'll tell you the exact math, but um, the peg bonus is still there. We're looking at about a 0.3 peg, so we have about a little more to go. But that is good because it gives all of you. Maybe you are new, you just saw this. It gives you a great entry into Fusion, and you know, taking advantage of prices now, it gives you what we call a peg multiplier bonus. And that's, a way to encourage people to sacrifice EMP and give them a larger value. So again, it's a lot. We have a lot of videos on how Fusion works. But the whole idea is that you buy EMP, you sacrifice that EMP into Fusion, and then it gives you an ownership of the protocol. And what you're owning is everything that we do from here on out. So we have, again, obviously bonds and treasury yield is like a baseline. But then on top of that, we have Dex Swap, which is our own exchange. That will be earning fees and scaling up now that we have gotten bonds up and running. Our next focus is Dex Swap and really scaling all of that. We have Honor vs Madness, which is our AAA game that we're building. We're hoping to release that by the end of the year, and 10% of all revenue goes to EMP or Fusion. And then we have a lot of other, treasury investments, pre-sales, a lot of external revenue that we are waiting to have come to fruition. But all of that over the next few months will really start again to jumpstart the fusion recovery for sure.
That's a lot there. I like to hear it. So you said deck swap, really building that out. Is that the next thing? Is it?
It is. So yeah, man. So we again, we've had to really streamline our dev team as well.
Mm.
And honestly, it's probably a good thing. We had 30 devs at one point building out the vaults, and all that work was pretty much done. So we're feeling really confident. And adding new chains. Is fairly simple now that we have everything built. And again, just to clarify too from earlier, we've done a complete overhaul on our operational security as well. And
Yeah.
even when I mentioned the original exploit, it wasn't an exploit with our smart contracts. So we've had amazing audits. We spent over 300 grand on audits over the last 4 years, and all the smart contracts were safe. What the issue was actually with our cloud server. So all of that has now been fixed, and we have time locks and multi sigs and everything. And even with the exploit, the private vaults were never affected, and all of our treasury vaults and the bonds are private vaults. So that's just another bit of security. So anyway, all that being said, yeah, I mean, obviously the bread and butter was vaults, but now we're going to deck swap. So this is next on the list, as well as some, we're doing the legacy migration. That really is number one priority. So in
Mm.
terms of flow, number one priority is the detonator reactor nodes, all the legacy contracts. If you were involved with them, you'll be getting credit um, inside of Fusion. So that's number one priority. Number two is USDT batteries and just really polishing everything with Fusion. And then Fusion can just run. And then the third on the list, both of those things are fairly quick. All the work has been done. We just have to implement it. So, all the Fusion stuff we're talking, maybe 2 weeks, somewhere in there. But after that, then 100% focus is in DexSwap. So DexSwap will be our multi-chain exchange. Right now, we're on Binance BSC or BNB chain, and that's where you can find GG token and EMP and eShare. All of our liquidity now is over here. But we will be then integrating Pulse, and all of you that were part of SparkSwap will be getting an airdrop in our new token for Spark and for CO on the Manta network. We are probably going to discontinue support on Manta just because there's really no volume there. But if you had tokens, you will get credit. And then the bigger chain. So Base, eventually probably Ethereum mainnet. So this will be a multi-chain DEX that we're able to again earn fees from and be V4 compatible. So all of this is using the algebra framework, and we'll be able to be a V4 DEX with different hooks and really cool things. That is the cutting edge of what exchanges are doing. So yeah, Arbitrum, Base, and Pulse are going to be the three coming next. Yep.
Nice. This is good to see. It feels like we're back to where we were. We're back on track now, you know?
We are, brother. The train is back on the tracks, man. Yeah, we really are. So I know again it was a little bumpy there, but we're looking really good, man. We're again, fundamentally nothing has changed. Crypto is so emotional that one little hiccup and people no longer have faith. And that's okay, man. I mean, those that left and don't want to be here, then that's opportunity for the rest of us that do see, what's coming. And again, we can't guarantee success, but we can guarantee that we don't ever stop building. And you know, um, we're doing it, bro, for sure. Yep.
Nice, bro. I'm pretty happy. I've got this new sales job I'm working at the moment as well, and I managed to make $1,000 in the last week. I haven't had my pay come in yet, but when it
Let's
comes
go.
in, I'll probably put I'll see what the marketplace is like for Fusion, see if there's any discounts there. If not, maybe chuck it in the bond for a bit. I'm putting all my money in here. I'm stacking up before all this goes down. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, bro. Again, I know, yeah, we gotta get you back in crypto full time. We'll have you be part of the sales team. So,
Beautiful. I'm getting
so
the
yeah,
experience up now, so I can do it. I
yeah,
can do it.
yeah, I love it, man. But yeah, totally, bro. And again, that is, even we were joking earlier, um, this is what we signed up for, crypto is volatile. I mean, we know that things go up and things go down, and you know, as long as you have the conviction, that's where the real gains are made. And again, being in crypto full time now for 10 years, yeah, it's the more cycles you go through, the more immune you get to it. But it is a good lesson. I mean, remember to always keep some profits and make sure that you have dry powder. It's really just about learning from mistakes and not doing that again makes really seasoned crypto investors for sure.
Definitely, bro. And I've definitely learned a bit from my few years I've been in the DeFi space. So well, lots of ups, lots of downs, and mistakes made, but lessons learned. And moving forward,
For sure,
I think
brother.
me, you, everyone gonna be in a good spot. So we'll keep it moving here, AJ. Anything else? I feel like we've covered most things today. Is there anything else you think that is good to go over today?
Yeah, bro. I think it was a great overview. Again, I know I'm happy we kind of we started the AMA train all over again. We did a few earlier this week.
Nice.
Obviously, hanging out with you tonight, and then we have a few more over the weekend. And really, it's just about showcasing, what we are doing. Again, the charts don't always reflect the success. And we've definitely seen that in EMP and ECA and GDEX, but you can't argue with the infrastructure. And having almost a $500,000 in bonds already, just to put all that in perspective, if we can get to about 2 million in TVL in bonds alone, we could be paying everybody back within like 2 months. So
Oh,
I mean, it
beautiful.
scales. Yeah, bro, it scales really quickly and snowballs from that. And again, when everybody is made whole, we were earning more from the treasury because that was one of the bigger wallets that was affected. And that split starts getting lower. So
Yeah.
all of you in bonds could potentially get even a higher APR. So again, I don't want to try to make people FOMO. Everything is variable. It's not guaranteed. But that is another cool part about all this is, it's all right there, transparent. You see where the funds are. You literally can track, funds going in and out on DBank. I mean, I'm really excited because we've always talked about being fully transparent. And sometimes it's hard to show that in a way that is safe, and and responsible. But now we've done that, and we put our money where our mouth is, literally in our transparency. So really excited for that. And who knows, maybe some of these smaller positions. Again, I was somewhat joking earlier about Fartcoin. We're not farming shit tokens, but some of the lower cap gems. I mean, that could easily do a 10 or 20x in the real bull run, and that value goes right to bondholders. So again, it's super bullish. Yeah.
Nice, bro. Nice. Yeah, this is a work of art here.
Awesome, bro. That means a lot. Yeah, and again, it's something that internally, we've been really, really so proud of. But it's just, it's so complicated that it's hard for people to really appreciate it. And now that we have a really easy way to get involved and to earn and to see what's happening under the hood, I think that we're gonna get a lot of interest for sure.
Yeah, bro. This has been an amazing AMA. And I'll tell you what, I'm normally all up to scratch on everything EMP because normally I just I watch all the AMAs and everything. But because I've been so busy doing my job, I haven't checked the AMAs for the last couple of weeks. So this is just a nice shock for me to see everything that's been happening. So this was great today, AJ, and really really appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, you've been out there bringing home the bacon. So yeah, now you can get put it all into to what we're building,
Yep,
bro. I love it,
exactly,
man.
bro, exactly. All
All
right,
right,
guys,
awesome.
I think it's just about do it. Appreciate everyone for tuning in today. We're gonna end the stream now, and in about a month or so from now, me and AJ, we're gonna go back. We're gonna do another one, and we're gonna see what AJ's been cooking again. So
Let's
for
do it.
now, peace out, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.